I'm pretty old. Old enough to remember when the first Star Wars movie came to theaters. But wait, what exactly am I referring to when I say the first movie? In 1977, Star Wars A New Hope was released. In 1999, 22 years later, according to our earthly timeline, the first in a whole new set of Star Wars movies began. The first one, called The Phantom Menace, tells us a story set 32 years prior to the events of A New Hope. We end up with a rather confusing list of movies. 1977, A New Hope is called Episode 4. 1980, The Empire Strikes Back is Episode 5. And 1983, Return of the Jedi is Episode 6. Okay. Well, 1999, The Phantom Menace is Episode 1. In 2002, Attack of the Clones is Episode 2. And in 2005, Revenge of the Sith is Episode 3. And then in 2015, The Force Awakens is Episode 7. In 2017, The Last Jedi is Episode 8. And in 2019, The Rise of Skywalker is Episode 9. And to make things even more confusing, random movies were filmed and released that fall somewhere in between these episodes. If you're a Star Wars nerd and watch a random Star Wars movie with someone who has never seen one before, you might not understand their confusion about the storyline. Why are they confused? They don't have any context that gives them an understanding of what is happening or why. The same is true for any storyline, real or fiction. This is especially true in fully understanding and enjoying the story of the Bible. One of the sayings that helps me study the Bible is context is king. This means when I want to understand what God means in a story or a specific verse, the context in which it appears rules how I interpret it. There are many tools to help us understand the context. Is it a particular form of writing, such as poetry? What is the logical flow of thought? What clues can you find in the word usage and grammar? The most important one for our purposes in this study is the historical context. What is historical context? A short explanation is that you look at what events have led up to this part of the story and ask, what are the current circumstances? We can also ask, where is the story heading? If we fail to consider the context of a story, it will negatively affect our ability to view the events correctly. We then end up with an erroneous understanding of the story, its implications and applications. This will inevitably lead to a wrong view of God Himself and create false assumptions about the Christian life. Today we get to the New Testament, and I'm about to tell you that there is nothing new in the story itself. Really? How can that be? While something new is about to happen in the corporate and community experience of the children of God, currently, during the life of Jesus, other than promises about something new, there isn't actually anything new happening in Jerusalem or among the people of God. As we move forward in the story, I want you to think about how this observation of what is happening or not happening during the life of Jesus can break open your mind and help you see that the church is an incredible phase in God's plan. It is not just a lingering social club that began with Jesus. In reality, Jesus, in the flesh, never participated in the church at all. Jesus talks about the church, He predicts it, He makes promises about it, He even dies for it, but the church does not officially begin until after Jesus ascends into heaven. When we look at the life of Jesus, it is best to understand His experience and His teaching in the light of the historical and cultural context. We saw how the nation crumbled, and then a remnant returned to Jerusalem. There are now synagogues all over the known world. They have experienced the discomfort of God's silence while watching the Greeks take over and create a new culture. Then the Romans bring infrastructure and order. The Jews are marginalized as a subculture that must learn to live within the constraints imposed on them by a Roman government that only endures their presence. The Jews are a people seeking deliverance. O come, Emmanuel, and ransom captive Israel. This is a period of transition, and we can see that Jesus is the centerpiece of history. Everything, starting at creation, was ultimately pointing to Jesus. Jesus said, "You pore over the scriptures because you think you have eternal life in them, and yet they testify about me." And everything that came after Jesus, all of history since his ascension, and all that will come in the future, roots us in the hope that he gave of an eternal reunion with him. Again, Jesus said, "I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end." I find a bit of irony in how we express our faith this time of year. We've all just finished celebrating Christmas. Ask yourself, how much of my Christmas activity was focused on Jesus? I think our cultural expression of Christmas makes it difficult to truly focus on Jesus. Well then, Merry Christmas! Saying this instead of Happy Holidays does nothing to change the focus of our personal celebration or what it looks like to those outside the church. How about other holidays, like Easter? These are the easy ones, because there is usually a huge church celebration that makes us feel like we are focused on Jesus. But how about your role in your immediate family? How do you help your family focus on Jesus? In your education? Is your pursuit of educational goals focused on Jesus? In your occupational goals? Your plans for retirement? Your desires for relationship, family, and children? Jesus is the centerpiece of history. Shouldn't he also be the centerpiece of your life? All of your life? The willingness and encouragement to ask this question and answer it honestly may be the most crucial goal for any Sunday school class or small group. We're to help one another pursue Jesus and focus our vision on him as the rightful center of all of our lives.